Hello, welcome back to the lecture series on molecular quantum mechanics. In this lecture and in the forthcoming lectures, I am going to discuss about the very important and very famous method which is applicable for organic molecule containing pi electrons, is the Huckel'S molecular orbital method. In the first lecture, I am going to give some introductory idea about the semi-empirical methods, okay, and what is the purpose of this Huckel method and all. Then we'll discuss about the detailed description of Huckel molecular orbital theory as we go along, okay, in the forthcoming lectures. Yeah, let's start our discussion. Now, so we all know that for molecules, very specifically organic molecules, okay, to get the energy of the molecular orbitals or to get wave functions about the molecular orbitals, wave functions correspond to the molecular orbitals or any other properties of the molecule, okay, we essentially apply these techniques. First one is Abhinitio method, and the second technique is semi-empirical method, or methods, then empirical methods. Okay, if organic molecules are given, okay, to understand the properties of the organic molecule, right, theoretically, okay, or computationally, right, we adopt certain methods, right, depending upon the size of the molecule and depending upon the cost, right, cost of computation, we adopt few techniques here, and these are all the methods that we usually follow. What is an Abhinitio method? Abhinitio method is purely quantum mechanical method in which, okay, all integrals, okay, all 2 electron integrals are exactly solved, okay, 2 electron integrals that involved in the calculation are exactly calculated, okay, are exactly computed using computers, okay, and the wave function, energy of the molecular orbitals are calculated exactly. Abhinitio method is an exact method of determining, okay, energies of the molecular orbitals or the wave functions or any other properties. It's an exact calculation. All 2 electron integrals are exactly solved here. But the problem is solving 2 electron integrals, okay, it is a tough task, right? It consumes lot of time and it also consumes lot of money. Okay, so Abhinitio methods are usually carried out for small molecules. If you have small molecules, yes, Abhinitio method is a suitable option, right? But if molecules are medium size or large size molecules, then Abhinitio method is really a tough task. Okay, then the second treatment that is available is semi-empirical treatment. In semi-empirical treatment, here 2 electron integrals, okay, almost all 2 electron integrals, right, are given some value, right, just to fit the experimental data, okay. For 2 electron integrals, right, people will use some value, the values are parameterized, okay. So 2 electron integrals 2 electron integrals are not solved, but to fit with the experimental data, okay, the values, some values are given, okay, in place of to fit with the experimental data. Okay, so here we usually neglect the 2 electron integrals. Then this technique is applicable, okay, for medium size molecules. Okay, even some large molecule also you can employ here. Okay, the basic difference between these two is that here all 2 electrons integrals are solved mathematically exactly using computers, whereas here the 2 electron integrals are not solved, but to fit with the experimental data some values are included, or some values are incorporated, right, in the results, right. So it is just some parameters are involved here, and those parameters, okay, are fitted by, or those parameter values are given by scientists to match with the experimental data. If molecules, and listen, this is another important information, this is time consuming. Semi-empirical method is time consuming, and the cost involved, okay, is quite less compared to the Abhinitio method. Okay, then suppose if the molecules are very large, say for example if molecule contain, if you take molecules like a polymer or a protein, okay, or a nucleic acid, for those molecules which involves lot of nuclei, lot of electrons, okay, many integrals are there, so for those molecules we cannot use quantum mechanical technique. Here all the electrons are ignored. Okay, in empirical methods all electrons are simply ignored, right. Only the nuclei are taken, okay, nuclei which are connected by bonds, only those nuclei are taken here, and the calculations were done using only those nuclei. Okay, we here also we have several methods. The one which is famous is molecular mechanics method. Molecular mechanics method, method. Mechanics method. Okay, so this technique is applicable for large size molecules like polymers, proteins, etc. Okay, where we ignore all electrons, only the nuclei which are connected by covalent bonds, right, are considered, and only those species are taken for calculation. Okay, now what we are going to focus here is the semi-empirical methods. Okay, I have told you semi-empirical method is partial quantum mechanics, and the partial values are taken from the experiment. Okay, that is why it is called semi-empirical, right. This is applicable for medium size molecules and small size molecules, right. Compared to Abhinitio method, here this technique is time consuming. Okay, less time is required for calculation and less amount of money is required. So this semi-empirical technique is followed by many scientists. Okay, and this is a very useful technique for medium size molecules. Okay, then now in semi-empirical method, we have several semi-empirical methods are there. In those days, suppose if molecule contain sigma bonds as well as pi bonds, okay, so I'll take organic molecules containing pi electrons. if organic molecule contain pi electrons, okay, then see, you know very well pi electrons are delocalized, so it can move freely throughout the molecule, right? And sigma electrons are localized. So we can assume that the interaction between sigma electron and pi electron is somewhat weak. Under this, so since it is weak, you can assume that sigma electrons and pi electrons can be treated separately. So in those days, people considered only the pi electrons of the molecule, and they treated pi electrons separately. So we are going to see pi electron semi-empirical methods first. Pi electron semi-empirical method. Semi-empirical method. Okay, and we have other semi-empirical method called general semi-empirical method. General semi-empirical method. Okay, in general semi-empirical method, sigma bonds, sigma electron, pi electron, all the electrons are taken up, okay, and calculations were done using that. Okay, in general semi-empirical method, all the electrons are considered, whereas in pi electron semi-empirical method, only pi electrons are treated in the molecule. Okay, for pi electron semi-empirical methods, these two methods are considered as very famous methods. Number one, Huckel'S molecular orbital method, MO method, and second one, Pariser-Popul method. This is another important method available which treat only the pi electrons. Okay, what we are going to do here is we are going to consider only Huckel'S molecular orbital method. We are not going to discuss PPP method, okay, or triple P method. We are not going to discuss this. We are going to focus only on this. Okay, and we are also not going to discuss general semi-empirical method. Okay, in general semi-empirical method, we have various methods like AM1 method, PM3 method, PM6 method. Lot of methods are there. I am not going to discuss those things here. Our focus is only on Huckel'S molecular orbital method. Okay, and remember, Huckel'S molecular orbital method, right, treats only the pi electrons present in the molecule. Okay, yeah. So let's move on to Huckel'S molecular orbital method. I stop here. We'll continue this in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.